Brother, are you all right?
No, I am not all right. I just shared a bottle of Kanar with Damar. That rhymes.
You're drunk.
Of course I'm drunk.
Yeah. I know you can still hear us. That's why I had to give you a shit as you ran off right as the intro video was playing to go get something to drink. I mean, not everyone has a mini fridge right here next to the desk that they make sure is stocked before going live. And speaking of going live, good evening, everybody. See? I think someone needs to make an upgrade to their setup in the office. Yeah, but I have a fridge that literally all I have to do is reach down for, except when there's a dog standing in front of it. Hi, maybe. Hi. How are you doing? Oh, no, see, my bottle opener, right here on the desk. But then again, I forget what year I got this for Christmas, but the wife actually got me a pretty cool bottle opener. It's actually a segment of a hockey stick that's actually the handle for it. So. Let me...
What?
Can they hear me?
So, nope, because OBS decided to fuck up, and apparently the speaker output is no longer the default, but it is, but it's not.
But it's not?
Yeah. Well, I heard a great conversation to start this, but...
Yeah, it sounded like you were talking to yourself.
Oh, that never happens. Of course it does. But so, as people can see, I have a bit of preference, and yes, the thumbnail gave away what my preference is on this one. Don't get me wrong, the second movie adaptation here was not a bad movie. It was actually quite an enjoyable movie. To the point that when this topic came up, those of you not paying attention to the Discord server may have missed out. This past Wednesday night, the first and second movie adaptation of Judge Dredd are what we watched on the server. We didn't give anyone a chance to vote on it because you never know, those fucking hooligans will vote for paint drying again.
Well, I was going to say, this isn't a democracy, so you know.
And I'm behind the power curve and wasn't able to catch on that. So, and I was debating whether I was going to join tonight since I have not seen this in like a decade. And then I was guilted into joining by an unknown person or unnamed person that hopefully will be on VTW. Damn you, Karis. So I'll watch it. And Jared sent me the links. I could not get them to work on my TV. So I ended up renting the original one for like $3. Just to watch, and I literally finished it 5 minutes ago. Now, earlier in the afternoon when I asked Jared for the link, I asked him, if I could only watch one, which would you advise? It is. I'll read you his response, and I don't think it captures it well enough. It says, tough call. I actually like them both. But the Stallone one is definitely more camp. No, that doesn't describe it. This is complete camp. I mean, they don't make movies like this anymore that just make you go, really? But you still kind of like it.
Well, and that is actually what spawned the whole entertainment night thing that we've been doing on the Discord server. Is a couple of us have just gotten sick of the quality and just how so browbeatingly political a lot of newer media has been. So it started out with a joke, a play on the whole Pepperidge Farm thing. It's like, remember when movies were actually good and enjoyable and weren't entirely about identity politics?
This has got some in there. It's just not beating you in the face with it.
And that is exactly the point. We don't mind there being the sprinkles of it, the undertones of it.
As long as there's even more camp on top of it.
The bit of entertainment. You gotta have the entertainment value without the browbeating message.
Yeah, we've talked about it before, and I'm sure someday we'll do Starship Troopers unless I happen to have missed that one. But yeah, Starship Troopers is the same. It has a lot of the politicalness to it and the undertone of commentary, society, all kinds of stuff. But it's not beating you in the face with the politics. It's beating you in the face with the camp.
The movie, yes.
Yeah.
And that's where, actually, that may end up being what we start the new year with, Furball. So pay attention. Because, and the timing of it is interesting, because another channel that I watch a lot of his material, Arch, formerly Arch Warhammer, has actually started covering the Starship Troopers verse. Not just the book, not just the movie, but going between the two.
Yeah, depending on when you do it in front of or after the new year, I know I've got something. It'll float around in there. If you do it on the 2nd, we can also celebrate my birthday.
Well, so that's where leaving it to the audience, because this is one of those years where you end up with 2 holiday weekends in a row between Christmas and New Year's. And we are taking the Christmas weekend off air. So we're on air this weekend. We'll be on air next weekend. We will be on air the weekend following. So we got 3 weeks in a row of shows. But then it's Christmas, and we'll be off air for that. But then the week after is New Year's, and we're going to have the award show for Dumb Fuck of the Year. So we'll probably end up rolling from that into Kanar with Damar, into VTW, all in one shot, in one night.
Sounds like you're going to have a busy Saturday.
Is there any other?
Nah, not really.
And before someone gets the temptation to see what my ringtone is that I recently changed for them, let me go ahead and mute that. Yes, S2000 GT does have a good point. Mr. Krabs was in Starship Troopers, the movie. Drill Sergeant Zim.
Yep.
That man is in everything.
Clancy Brown is an amazing actor that does not get the credit he deserves.
Oh, definitely.
But this franchise that we're actually talking about today is not one that he has been a part of. And with all of that, so should we go into the highlights of the camp that was the mid-90s rendition of Judge Dredd?
Yeah, go for it. Sorry, I'm distracted by texts.
Shocking.
Not bad text. Not that kind of texts.
Now, it's one of those that I can actually... Okay, yes, the movie was campy as all fucking hell.
Oh, God, so much.
But what comic book movie of the time wasn't?
True, very true.
I mean, go back and watch the original trilogy of Batman. Well, specifically, the first 2 real Batman movies with the actual movie rendition of Batman, Michael Keaton. Campy as hell, but still enjoyable.
Not as campy as the show, though.
True. Well, not as campy as the original show with Adam West.
Yeah.
That's a different kind of camp, though. I don't know. A different era of camp.
Yes.
And that was one of the questions at the end of this. I would like to talk about, what do we consider camp today, modern day camp? Because we don't see Judge Dredd type camp anymore, but there's a bunch of them from the 80s and 90s. And the 50s, 60s, 70s had a different type of camp. So I'd like to have that discussion later on, but continue. Sorry.
You know what? God's Auditor does bring a good
Yeah, I just saw
voice to
that.
this one. He says, "Okay, I'm a serious Judge Dredd fan, and my take is that the '90s version showed more of the 2099 AD universe, but Carl Urban was a significantly better Dredd."
Yeah,
I can agree with that one.
yeah, I can agree with that too. It's again, it comes down to the storytelling. I think was better in the '90s version than the newer one. But when you have an actor that can actually act, it does lend credence to the value of the IP. You know.
True, and here's something to remember. So this is the question that really spawned the idea for this one. Do you consider Judge Dredd either or both movies and the rest of the franchise, the rest of the IP? Is it sci-fi?
What category would it be in if it's not? And what would the arguments for and against?
So I could see an argument based off of the Carl Urban version of the movie alone as not being as much as a sci-fi, as more of it being a future action movie. An action movie set in the future, not necessarily sci-fi. Because you do have some upgrade in tech and everything, but beyond that, you could see that kind of world being where we are in 20 years or less.
Well,
But what's the
God's
difference
Auditor
then?
kind of brought up my point that I was going to try to make here, is that it's a post-apocalyptic dystopia. I wouldn't add sci-fi necessarily to it because it's not really science fiction. It's more of just a dystopian future.
In totality, or just the Carl Urban version of the movie?
I would say the Carl Urban version, the totality. I would lean more towards sci-fi itself for everything else, but at the same time, you kind of you can't have it just sci-fi and not have it also a post-apocalyptic dystopia. So it's one of those.
And that's kind of where I go with on, if you're evaluating it just from the Carl Urban version alone, you definitely get that dystopian future aspect to it, and not so much anything that would sway you towards the sci-fi. However, they have the Lawmaster, the firearm, in both versions. That is an element of sci-fi. You do have the advanced tech there.
Yeah.
But when you go away from that and you go into the rest of the IP, let's just start with the Stallone version of the movie. The vehicle. That is another element that does push it towards sci-fi, because now you're getting more into a Blade Runner-esque style of motorcycle that's armed.
Which reminds me, I need to pre-order Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, God's Auditor, if you have time to come on and join us, check your Discord. Yeah. Oh, wrong link.
You didn't send him the link to your porn drive, did you?
No, I almost sent him the link to the pop-out live chat that's being captured on screen. Kinda useless since he's already in there.
Meh.
But, so, back to the point that I was going with. So, when you look at the presentation and also the backstory given in the Stallone version, you're getting more of the expanded lore, the actual source material. That, to me, pushes it over the edge and puts it into all-out sci-fi. And Mr. Auditor, you go ahead and unmute as you so desire.
Yeah, no, sorry, my computer's being a dick right now. I'm trying to get it together. And I missed like half of what you just said. So, but yeah, no, it's the Judge Dredd is completely 100% sci-fi. I mean, the Carl Urban one to a lesser extent, but that's just because they don't show nearly as much of the universe as the Stallone one or of course the comics. So,
And that's kind of where I was going on it, because a lot of people, and especially the younger audience, they may have seen and been aware of the Carl Urban one, which, on its own, a standalone movie, disassociate it from the rest of the franchise, still a great action movie.
oh hell yeah. I've watched it probably twice in the last 2 months, actually. Just putting it on in the background while I'm making dinner or some stuff. It's great to just have on.
Yeah, and then you go back and you look at the Stallone one. Yeah, you're getting the movie era camp that was comic book movies at that time. And keep in mind, this was the second one in a row that Stallone did. Because before this, he did Demolition Man.
Oh yeah, they were pretty close together there, weren't they?
Yeah, and one of the things I noted in it when we finished watching Judge Dredd on Wednesday was, Rob Schneider got an actual credit for Judge Dredd, but not in Demolition Man.
He didn't get it, really.
Go back
He
and
had,
watch
like, a
Demolition
few
Man.
lines.
Watch the credits. Rob Schneider does not show up.
Oh well, that's fucked. No, he had like 2 or 3 lines in Demolition Man too, so he should have had some kind of credit.
You would think.
Sometimes the
Yeah.
actors don't want the credit because they think it's going to suck.
Well, yeah, but this was like what, the mid '90s. How much clout did Rob Schneider really have at that point?
Not much.
That's exactly it. And not just that. It was a Snipes versus Stallone movie.
Yeah,
And you have the two biggest action stars of that era, well, two of the biggest, in one movie, and a relatively fringe, up-and-coming supporting actor wouldn't want his name on the roll?
yeah, of course. I mean, even if the movie sucked, didn't it make a lot of money? I don't know. I was like fucking, what, 10 when that came out, maybe?
It made money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and
Gone through the
going back to the whole sci-fi thing, it is inherently science fiction because Dredd, spoilers if you haven't been paying attention for the last like 40 years of comic books, but Dredd is a clone of Judge Fargo. So he's, cloning, I guess, isn't science fiction anymore, but to that extent, it is. And especially when it came out, it was complete science fiction.
interesting. Sorry to derail for Demolition Man again, but Jack Black actually got credited in that movie.
Yeah, right?
Jack Black was in it?
Yeah,
He was one of the Wasteland scrap.
he was one of the thugs with Edgar Friendly, otherwise known as Dennis Leary.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
But-
Okay, all right, I'm seeing it. Yeah.
So, when you look at it, and that's where I think people forget about that aspect of Judge Dredd, because, again, you don't get that in the Carl Urban version in, what was it, 2012 that one came out?
Yeah.
You
Been
get
8
it.
goddamn years.
Yeah, well, you get a good shot of how the character actually is in that one. How he is strict about adherence to the law. That is commonplace across both. But you don't get into the backstory of his in the Carl Urban one at all. You get glimpses of Anderson's, which
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, good choice on the casting there.
Yep.
And in that, you start to get some of additional sci-fi flair with her being a mutant with psychic powers.
Yep.
But then the rest
The
of it really could be very postmodern, very close to contemporary with the rest of the storyline.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, they're even driving around in like shit vehicles that are like 20 years old our time, and so at that point, those are like 70-year-old vehicles. So it
Yeah.
really is post-apocalyptic more than anything else. Like it's in the actual storyline, it is like post World War III. I think there's also a second American Civil War in there, or not quite, but pretty close. So these are all things that happened prior to even Dredd being around. So it's and you know the rest of the world is pretty much destroyed by that point. One thing that neither of the movies showed, which is actually a really fucked up aspect of the comic books, is that the Atlantic Ocean is referred to as the Black Atlantic because it is just completely like oil spill. It's like oil spill so bad they were never able to clean it up. So it's really bad post-apocalyptic.
Actually, I'm trying to find the comment. Where did Alan post that? Because we have someone who has actually read the comic from day one. And he left a good comment on the Discord server about it. That nope, it's not there. But it's always interesting to get a here it is. So it's interesting to get someone's opinion who's been aware of the property for pretty much since its inception. And Alan saw my announcement where on the server I let everyone know what the coming up topics were for Kanar with Damar. And his response was, the whole point of the 2000 AD was as a British comic to take advantage of the glut of sci-fi movies that were released in 1977. I used to read it regularly in the early days, even buying a few issues. I guess it would be worth a quid if I still had a pristine copy, but yes, in my opinion, Judge Dredd, at least as we see him in the comic, was an icon of science fiction.
Yeah. I said 2099 AD earlier, and I fucked that up. It was 2000 AD.
Yeah, but even then, with the way things have actually progressed and the way that actual society has gone from the time of when the franchise was initially founded, you could see it being still couple hundred years out from where we are now, and still have a good frame of reference of how would it be if the society decided to just try to implode and a bunch of people try to take control. What methods would they use as societal controls at that point? And I guess you could see Judge Dredd as being the what if scenario if the police were the ones to survive it all as a ruling body.
Yeah, it's I'm okay, so I haven't been an extensive reader of it. I've gone through several of the storylines of it, and I have a few comics at my house, but like the even the entire thing is the formation of the judges as a result of society being all imploding and getting too big and stuff is it actually does go back to the it wasn't really a civil war, but it was like the president ended up basically fucking over the country and doing a whole bunch of nasty shit. And the judge system was more of a response to that. And then, so they basically overthrew the US government and then just formed up the judge system. And then the comic books kind of get more into like whether or not they're ultimately like the judges are the system, or if they're just a one of the rival gangs in the city. So it's, I mean, because in the movie he says we can only respond to about 6% of calls a day, and so it's a bunch of the blocks just don't give a shit about the judges because they're they view them as pretty much nothing more than like another gang trying to come in and take them over.
Which does feed into those bits of corruption that are actually seen in the later version, where you have those other judges responding to the judge in distress call, and the ones that Mama brought in that were allowed in, and it was, oh no, this is my price. I'll do this for you, but this is my price. And the price was 1 million because it was Dredd.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, like Dredd's a clone of the very first judge that overthrew the government. So, or like the guy that was in charge. So, yeah, there's a reason he's completely badass, like above and beyond what most other judges are, because he was like the ideal original judge, and they tried to replicate that.
And I do give the first movie, the Stallone version movie, credit for actually tying that in and stating and actually showing that you can have a genetic match, but the personalities don't end up the same. Although I do have to give the movie a bit of a harsh bit on this, where, sorry, if you have someone who's a genetic match, you are not going to have the differences in appearance like you do between Stallone and Armand Assante.
Yeah, not that far.
Yeah, not that far. Although, I will also notice this. I did not notice this the first few dozen times I watched it growing up, but this last time I actually noticed the way they actually got the eye colors to work in that version of the movie. You could easily see that it was just done with contact lenses. So they actually went practical on it. Tony Regime asks, wasn't Dredd genetically engineered from multiple judges?
In the Stallone movie, I think he was, but in the comic books, it was pretty. They finally actually nailed it down after a while as him being. You know what, dude? There's so much. It's been in constant publication since 1977. So, as far as I understand it, if he was a combination of multiple judges, then the biggest portion of that divide was Judge Fargo. I remember that being a very big portion of it.
Well, so the way that it was put in the Stallone version of the movie, they tried to do that combination of all the chief judges. But what it ended up being was, according to the Stallone version, was only the samples from Judge Fargo's were the ones who actually survived and became viable. And even then, it was just Judge and Rico.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't actually end up reading the Rico storyline from the comic books. I went through World War IV, the Judge Death, a bunch of different ones. Oh, and yeah, the comic book's definitely sci-fi because later on it ends up being multiple universes and a whole bunch of other shit, like judges from other universes coming in and fucking shit up. I mean, there's Judge Dredd versus Batman, Judge Dredd versus the Predator. I actually have all three of the arc for Judge Dredd versus the Predator, but and that I was stoked about that. I looked for those for a while, They're not that valuable, but they are to me. So, but yeah. So definitely sci-fi.
So what are the major differences between the Stallone and the modern version? I didn't get a chance to watch the modern one.
The Stallone version, was it the judge uniforms? I think were designed by Versace.
Yes, they were.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That actually caught my attention during the opening credits. I was like, wait a minute, fucking Versace? But then when you actually see them, especially a few of the shots that they did of Judge Hershey, played by Diane Lane, yeah, you could see it.
Yeah, I thought that was funny because like I mean I saw the Stallone one when I was more of a kid, and then when the Carl Urban one came out, oh hell yeah, I went to see that. And then went back and watched the Stallone one, and I'm looking at the uniforms like, what the hell is that shit? That's like, I remember
camp.
badass, but
well, so I can give the 90s one a bit of credit because the Stallone version does have a bit of appeal towards the comic version.
oh yeah. Yeah, that's the fucked up part, is that the Stallone one looks more like the comic book version, but the Carl Urban one looks better because it actually looks like armor.
Yeah, and this really, like the campiness of it, that uniform is just so damn ridiculous. There's nothing about it that is
not
even
practical.
like functional.
Well,
I mean, you have
hang
one
on.
armored shoulder and then a non-armored anything else.
And it starts out with Stallone just standing there in the middle of the street, like that's going to do anything for him.
But speaking about the armor, come on now, the helmet works, and at least the badge side shoulder has decent mobility.
I would like to know, does Stallone here have like a 13-inch waist?
I believe it was high 20s at this point.
God, he looks like a Barbie doll.
Well, and here's another thing. Stallone is not that tall.
No, he's only what?
If I remember right, he's only like 5'5", maybe 5'6".
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. Hold that right there, because this is one thing that bothers me, but it's more from a like progression of technology thing. That image right in the middle, the one right in the middle where he's screaming like Stallone does.
Yeah.
I remember this scene particularly because when he's basically busts out a PA and starts yelling at people in the block. I am the law. It's in his helmet, and then the microphone pops out of his helmet. Oh shit. The microphone pops out of his helmet, and then he starts speaking, and it's raised volume. And I'm sitting here going like, why the fuck would you need the microphone to pop out of your helmet? It's right next to your mouth already.
It needs to get 1 inch closer.
No, it did need to be.
Or it didn't even get closer.
So from an in-universe technology standpoint, yeah, not needed at all whatsoever. But for the time period of the movie, they needed some sort of visual cue to let people know, hey, he's actually going to be doing something a bit extra here.
Yeah, I know. I understand the reasons why it actually is in the movie, but like, it's one of those things where you just sit there looking at it later, like that was unnecessary, like from a realism standpoint. It's a little thing that bothered me.
So I'm going through the Wikipedia on Judge Dredd. Did he have a crossover with Batman?
Yes.
Yes.
And with Predator and with Aliens.
Yeah, that's right. There was one with Aliens.
Yep.
And see, this is where, with the multi-universe aspect, and especially the comic book source material, yeah, Judge Dredd is sci-fi. It was something that I never really put it into that grander sphere of things when I was thinking about it growing up, simply because it was like, oh, it's just another dystopian future type of movie. I did not know about the comics until years later.
Oh, my favorite way that they incorporate multiple universes in it is the megacities have nuclear weapons shielding. The big shields that go over the entire cities, and when they, like the Russians launch nukes or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
the missiles hit the shields and then disappear. Where they go is an alternate universe of Earth that is peaceful and prosperous.
Fucking assholes.
It's like,
Ingenious
well,
idea, but fucking assholes.
yeah, it compounds everything about that universe as so much worse because it's like, well, we couldn't figure out how to make actual shields. We'll just make it somebody else's problem.
You know, thinking about it now, I can see why other people from other universes will make it a point to go to them to fuck with their shit.
Yep. Oh, it's so fucked up.
Oh, wow. You know, Leon made a bit of a comparison there that I'm actually kind of more in line with, where he did said Judge Conrad Kurz, one of the fallen Primarchs of the Warhammer series. I think Kurz would actually get along with some of these judges. Because the whole thing there was, Kurz was trying to be the ultimate embodiment of justice, and it didn't matter the crime. If you committed a crime, you were punished, and it just continually escalated. So even something as simple as petty theft because you're fucking starving, rather than getting like a misdemeanor slap on the wrist, it got to the point where no, everything was the death penalty, and the manner of implementing the death penalty just got more and more and more perverse from there.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that happened with a few judges as well. I know that, like, I haven't read any directly, but I know that there are cases where some judges just say "fuck this" and said, like, "Fuck it, we're just gonna start killing people. No one's following the law. This is the only way to do it."
Live broadcast of flaying people, anyone? Yeah, Kurz did that. I could see some judges doing that. To go for reference in the modern movie, when Mama locked down the building, I could see a particular Chief Justice saying, you know what? No. We have enough people in the city to worry about already. Someone wants to do that shit and is holding 2 of our judges hostage. Fuck it. Level the building.
Yep. I mean, it makes sense. Like God, what is it? At the beginning of it in like 2099 or something like that, I think the total population of Megacity 1 was somewhere around 800 million people. And then just as it progresses, it just starts to sort of dwindle. Like the after World War IV, they lose half just due to nukes. 400 million people done, and then it gets even worse from there. Yeah, I have the Wikipedia pulled up, and it starts at 800 million, then gets down to 400 million, and then by 2134, the population is reduced to 50 million.
Wow. But that is a lot more easy to manage.
Oh, and since we're talking about this and I'm excited about it, there was one particular little detail in the Carl Urban one that I enjoyed, and it's a little background detail. And if you notice, there's no American flags, but what they do have is there's like a shield that has four red and white, or not four. It has several. I don't remember how many red and white vertical stripes, and then across the top in blue are 5 stars. And it took me a while to catch on to that, but those 5 stars are the 5 megacities in North America. So there's not 50 stars on the American flag anymore. It's down to 5.
Well, you figure with that much devastation, and if I remember right, even in the Carl Urban one, they still hint at everything outside of the megacities being a wasteland. We don't actually see it, but they do hint at it. So
yeah,
does kind of make sense.
Yeah, it's the cursed Earth, and there's it's post World War III nuclear war. So
now, is the Angel family still there? That
oh god,
they're
cannibals.
Well, another beautiful piece of camp from the Stallone version. You have the Angel family, and it's just a dad and his 3 sons.
I want his ears, Pa.
Oh, do we have a believer among us?
Yes. Oh my god.
Oh, sometimes when you think you're getting yourself out of a situation, you're just making it worse for you.
When I fucking went back and watched that, I saw that scene, and Rob Schneider's getting cut down, and he's just like, "Look, Judge Dredd, you're about to die." I wanted Rob Schneider's other character to pop out of the corner and be like, "You can do it! Cut his fucking head off!"
Oh, it would have been rather appropriate too, especially seeing as how, yeah, they're cannibals, and then they cut over to the spit over the fire.
Yeah. Oh shit.
See, there was a style, there was a presentation to these sorts of movies back then that just they're not the same now.
What, like I mentioned earlier, the 50s, 60s, 70s had their version of camp, which would be the old Batman series, stuff of that nature. 80s and 90s had this, and a ton of other pure camp. RoboCop was camp as well.
Oh yeah,
a little different, but pure camp.
Howard the Duck.
What do you consider camp today?
Oof.
Is there any modern that is just so silly but still entertaining? That isn't pure comedy.
Wait. Shoot 'em up. You ever seen that movie?
Haven't, no.
Oh, Clive Owen, Monica Bellucci. Oh, that, if you haven't seen that movie, you need to go watch that movie. That how do I put it? That movie it's not the best movie I've ever seen, but it is a perfect movie. For what it's supposed to be, it is a perfect shoot 'em up movie. And it's campy, and a lot of it is physically impossible, but it's fucking amazing to watch.
Hold up. I'm looking at the live chat right now, and here, okay, I need a bit more to this story. And because we were speaking about Rob Schneider's character Fergie and the contention that some members of the fandom have with that choice and everything, Tony Regime says, but Fergie was a huge guy who lived in the sewers and loved baseball. He died saving Mega City 1 and was honored by a statue of him sitting on a toilet.
I don't remember that, but all right.
Good job getting memorialized, but what's the significance of the toilet?
I have no idea. I don't know this one. I'm assuming since he lived in the sewers, toilet. I don't know. Maybe Tony can enlighten us.
Yeah, because that's the thing. A lot of this stuff it has piqued my curiosity the more that I've been made aware that, oh yeah, there's a lot of source material behind these. It's not just this little bit here that led to this one movie that they then decided to remake here. It's like, no. We've actually done a whole fuck ton of shit that if they really wanted to do a movie series off of, they could.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, the as far as the comic books go, it's 40 some odd years, 1977. It's been a continuous thing. Judge Dredd has been every year that progresses in real life, another year progresses in Mega City 1. So Judge Dredd is still in service, and he's in his 70s right now. Or maybe his 60s. I might have fucked that up.
Huh.
It's supposed to be 122 years ahead of present day.
Yeah.
According to what I read on Wikipedia. Yeah,
it was written in 1977, but those stories took place in 2099.
So, okay, so he was the king of the sewers and had a toilet as his throne.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. I can see the connection there. It's just, I was wondering if there was something a bit more meta to it from that. But, okay, so with this being hands down and quite unabashedly a true sci-fi franchise, just a different flavor of sci-fi, definitely more of your true dystopian future. Which crossover has actually piqued your interest the most?
I haven't read the Batman one yet. I've read about it, and my understanding is that Dredd looks at Batman as an illegal vigilante, which naturally starts out problems. And then, of course, I'm assuming that they have to work together at some point. So as far as that goes, that one's intrigued me. But the one that I found really interesting was the Predator one. Predator crashes in Mega City 1, and, Dredd has to take care of it.
Now, that makes it interesting because that violates other crossovers.
How's that?
Because Predator land, I'm trying, because if you go with the entire Predator and Alien timeline, so Predator and Alien are one universe. Alien is also Prometheus universe. Prometheus would be the future that Dredd is in.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about a platform that has multiple universes on it, so there's an easy magic wand right there, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's just one line of dialogue. Oh, thank God we invented the thing.
Or just forgetting to point out that just because... So, with your parallel universes, it doesn't mean that the Predator that landed on Mega City 1 was from the same universe as Aliens versus Predator. It could be that universe's existence of the Predator species, or he could have come from a different parallel universe. Like, who knows? Exactly. Maybe the Predator that left LA after befriending Murtaugh got lost in transit and ended up at Mega City 1.
Yeah, there was a little time dilation sort of thing when he was trying to get out of there, and yeah. I don't know. It's with science fiction, I have a lot more suspension of disbelief because, I mean, you can figure out ways around shit easy enough.
It's nice when you have that magical wand.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and who cares about the quantum physics of how parallel universes actually wouldn't be able to have entities coexist in each and actually cross that barrier? But, Heisenberg compensator.
Inertial dampers.
There's a way to do it. We just don't know what it is yet.
We haven't invented it.
That's right.
Well, there is that saying that the difference between magic and superior technology is
No, it's advanced technology will ultimately be indistinguishable with magic, something to that effect. Now I need to know what the phrase is.
It's Arthur C. Clarke. I know.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
I was going to search for it, but I realized Furball's down a rabbit hole now.
Yeah. As sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Yep.
Yeah. That.
Or
you
So
could
that
just
is Arthur's. Yeah.
or
that's
you
Arthur
could
C.
just
Clarke's
grab a
third
sonic
law.
screwdriver and reverse the neutron flow.
No,
That's
the
right.
greatest sonic screwdriver event ever was during the Day of the Doctors.
The doctor.
Oh God, it's gonna take forever.
That
It's
was
gonna take
genius.
forever to analyze this door.
It's going to
How
take
long?
about 10,000 years. Hey,
Ding!
wait a minute. If it's the same screw... Hey, it's done. They go to do it, and Clara opens the door. It was unlocked. Did you even bother trying?
Oh, it was
Oh,
great.
I love that scene.
It just goes
man.
to show, it doesn't matter what it is. Anybody, especially the most intelligent people, will overthink it. Not can they will. It'll happen. Just
Yeah.
Wait a minute. A crossover between Superman and Alien happened?
That's still unbalanced. I mean, I can see it in the nature of making crossovers for the sake of making crossovers. Why the fuck not? But I still feel like unless aliens somehow are retconned to have kryptonite in their blood, then Superman wins just inevitably.
Well, what is Superman's defense and resistance? You just had to go and find it, huh?
I'm tweaking it, doing some vocal enhancers.
Good. We'll need that.
But speaking of that crossover, though, what is Superman's resistance to acid?
I'm assuming it's about the same as bullets. I mean, shit. Why if the guy is indestructible in other ways, why would acid do anything to him?
Keep in mind, he's only de facto indestructible when in the presence of a yellow sun.
I'm seeing that. Yeah.
Huh.
It was away from a yellow sun. Okay, that makes sense. Well, in that case, then how did he survive without Batman?
Oh, I mean, let's think about this. Other than being insanely rich, what was Batman's superpower?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist?
That was Iron Man.
I know. I saw a good meme where it's like where it puts Iron Man against Bruce Wayne, and it's like, take off the suit. What are you? Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. And then fucking Batman goes on to list like 50 other things. I mean, the dude is insanely smart. I mean, okay, no. What is Batman's superpower other than being rich? The plot cannot fail him.
Okay, yeah.
The plot, his backup plan is the plot, and he always has a backup plan. That is ultimately Batman's superpower.
But getting back to... Ooh, wait a minute. Here's an issue of contention that I had with the Stallone version of the movie. So, what initially got him convicted of killing the reporter and his wife was the genetic encoding ring that is put onto every round fired by the Lawmaster 2. Or Lawmaker 2. Whatever. Yeah. Would they not know that... Would they not get a conflicting result in the database analysis as it could be this person or this person who fired the weapon? Because Central is just a computer, not a person. So a person would make the error in assuming that someone incarcerated, their genetic profile shouldn't be considered. But would a computer?
I would think... okay, so waving my suspension of disbelief wand, I would think that since Rico and Dredd were part of a program, the genetic creation program there, and that was obviously part of a conspiracy, and Rico was let out as part of a conspiracy. Christ, who was the judge that was behind all that in the movie?
I just watched it, and I don't even remember names. I'm terrible with names, though.
Dude.
Who are you guys?
Exactly. Good. Keep it that way. Dude from Beer Fest. The old Judge
Fargo.
from Beer Fest.
No, he was from Wing Commander.
That too. Jesus Christ.
Max von Sydow is Judge Fargo.
Fargo was the donator. No. We're talking about Jurgen Ponchow's character.
Oh, Judge Griffin?
There we go. Okay. So presumably, since Judge Griffin was creating a conspiracy to get Rico out of prison, that information about his DNA would also have been deleted as part of this conspiracy. That's where my suspension of disbelief goes to justifying it, even if it didn't actually appear in the movie. I haven't watched the movie in like 4 years, so.
Okay, so I think Tony might be being a bit too harsh with the Stallone movie on this one. The Stallone film mixed loads of different stories together, so it was never going to have a coherent plot. It actually got closer.
I disagree. So I have no knowledge of the comics. I have not watched this in decades. And I just watched it today, and I watched it while I was packing and doing other things around the house. I was able to follow the plot better than I have many other movies, like the third Pirates of the Caribbean, where you had to fucking take notes. It's like, they're doing what? And they're, why? No, that, and then you got to do math at the end to figure it out. This one, the plot to me was fairly coherent.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that because it actually flowed. It actually did have a progression. It did have the hurdles. Yeah, there were moments of complete absurdity to it. Like, oh, every 60 seconds, these, the furnace outlets cycle twice. So we have half that time to get through. And it took them how long to actually run through it?
Like a minute and a half, and then for some reason Rob Schneider falls down, and all it takes is Dredd like grabbing him a little bit, and now he can run.
Yeah. Oh, remind me not to update my mixer's firmware midstream again. You should have known that already. But Dora does have a good point. The 95 Stallone version of the movie does get bonus points because it had Dr. Keynes and Duke Leto from Dune.
And once again, show I'm a terrible sci-fi guy. I've still never watched Dune.
We could change that. We've actually been trying to find the theatrical, not the theatrical, the director's cut version, because the intro lays more of the groundwork, and it ends up being an easier to understand and follow movie at that point. Leon, I don't think it's a traitor that you're looking for. I have a feeling that what it is we've found the heretic.
What did I miss?
I'll watch it at some point. I've never seen Dune.
Dune?
Yeah.
Like the David Lynch one?
Yeah.
Any of it. None of it.
Oh.
I'm a Dune virgin.
Oh my. Well, shit, we have to rectify this, don't we?
We have about 6 months to do it before the new movie is out.
We've got about a year. So October 2021?
Oh, they pushed it back to October now. I thought it...
last time I checked.
Well, the first delay that I saw was to June, July of 2021.
Yeah, last time I checked, it was October 2021, which made sense because they were pushing it back by about a year. So, but yeah, no, okay. And so he was talking about getting the extended cut version of the 80s one. I think I have that on VHS, actually.
Mr. Dorn, tell the Inquisition that they can get onto my calendar sometime next week for their questions.
Oh man,
I'm likely to cancel though. I'll be out of country or something.
Just
I'm washing my hair that day.
Just reschedule. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yes, and Tony is correct. Stallone did definitely break the lore by Dredd taking off his helmet. That was one thing I was really.
So are the judges kind of like the new Mandalorians, where they're not supposed to take off their helmets?
No, judges were allowed to take off their helmets and stuff. Dredd just never did because he was a consummate judge, and that was him.
At least, though, unlike the Mandalorians, he can drink and eat without making it look stupid.
That's true. Well, hey, I mean, I don't know how caught up you are with the new season, but that wasn't a Mandalorian thing.
Yeah, I have not watched yesterday's episode, but yeah. So it's when Bo-Katan, it's like, oh, you're one of them.
Oh, you're two episodes back.
Yeah.
No, well, that's when it was mentioned, though. That's when it was mentioned. Because last week was Ahsoka, and the week before that was Bo-Katan. And she's the one who, she's the one. It seems like Mando is just on this constant quest of, I need to get here to do this. And then he gets there and he finds someone similar to what he needs, and they tell him to go somewhere else. And then he needs to go here to do this. And he finds someone there that's similar to what he needs, but they send him somewhere else.
He's on an escort mission, dude. You played video games. That's pretty much what it is. Okay, well, watch the newest one, because so you watched the one with Ahsoka, right?
Yep.
Okay, you know how that one was like so much better than the ones preceding it in this season?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the episode yesterday is that much better than that one.
Yeah,
at least in my opinion.
I watched it yesterday before I went to work. It was really good.
It's really good.
I haven't been disappointed.
It throws you for a loop,
with
which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this series has not disappointed me hardly at all. I mean, there's been quirks here and there, but
there's little bits, but no,
it's strong.
It's good. It's real good stuff. And damn it, I want to talk more about it, but you haven't seen the new episode.
Well, that will be for next week.
Yes, I just Jay, homeboy
right.
that shows up, that was beautiful.
Oh yeah,
It was so badass.
I was sitting. I'm like, no way. Oh, it is.
It is. It
I'm just like-
absolutely is.
And just watching.
All right,
him
I'm
just-
gonna go on mute
just-
for a minute so you two can talk. I'm gonna go feed my dog. So, have fun.
We don't want to spoil it for anybody else
No,
that
don't worry
hasn't
about
watched it.
Yeah, I know. It just came out yesterday, so it's not like, everyone's seen it. I just made a point to watch it yesterday. Shit,
Yeah,
my
I've-
wife, she got home late last night and had to get up early this morning and still carved out time to watch it.
I watched it before I went to work yesterday, so that it was kind of nice. Actually, usually I watch it on my phone. This time I actually watched it on my computer for a change.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
but I have something for everybody.
Yes. Oh, there we go. I feel like that there's situations that needs to be used in, and we need to have that, but I don't know what they are.
This is the way. This is the way.
I
There you go.
actually use that to start all my Twitch streams. Like after I run my general song that I just start my Twitch streams with,
Mhm.
this is the way it goes next, and then I have
I have spoken.
my intro. No,
Okay.
I'm gonna get that one eventually. I just got to go back and
Mhm.
actually grab it. But I have my gaming intro where I have an old 90s dial-up modem, and as it starts doing that, it says loading, and then you see a picture digitizing in front of you,
Mhm, mhm.
and then it cuts into my old gaming intro, and then my outro is kind of it's a reverse of the intro, and then it kind of stalls on a single shot, and then dissolves that away. It says shutting down stream.
Oh,
That's
there you
pretty
go.
cool. I'll have to send you the file for it so you can
Okay.
watch them.
So in the intro you used the dial up.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Every time I hear that noise now, I get visceral reactions, as do most of us who had to live through that time.
I sit there and I'm just like, I've actually had people complain about it. I'm like, I don't care.
No,
Are you being a dick again?
When am I not?
it's more of a buffet at this point. People are allowed to pick and choose if he's being a dick to them.
True.
If not, they could just fast forward.
So true. And well, that So I was just given some information that
Oh,
I'm not going to name the individual that I was given this information about, because I want to get everyone's view out there, audience included. Okay, so hear me out on this one. Say you are a cancer survivor, and you go a year, 2, 3 years cancer-free. And then you get a diagnosis that you are terminal, and it's back. And it is a stage and in a location that it's not what can they do, it's how can they make your life more comfortable at this point. So, outright, full on, no shit, terminal diagnosis. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You have that news. Do you then dedicate the rest of the time that you have left on Earth to trolling someone that you claim to hate with every fiber of your being?
Okay. On one hand, my initial response is Spend as much time as you can with your friends and loved ones. On the other hand, I am that kind of an asshole who would probably use what time I have left to just stick it to some, if I hated someone as much as you are saying, which I don't really feel like I do currently, but if I did, I would probably use that time to stick it to that person purely because it means so much more.
Now, the target of this vitriol is Steve McRae.
Okay, that, yeah. And I can, like, again, this is the point. I would have to hate someone to a significant factor to do that. If this person hates Steve that much, I'm not going to say God bless and go forward, but if that's how it is, then I guess I understand. I don't, that's not.
It's still fucking crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I guess this is a good thing to bring up because this is a difficult question. And okay, so my mom died of cancer in 2017. And so, this was fun because I got back from the army in September, and by December she was dead. So that was a great 3 months to just, hey, I'm back. Oh, hey, mom's sick. Oh, hey, mom's dead. So I'm not insulated from a situation of, having a loved one have cancer and terminal cancer and seeing them go through that. What my mom did. Okay, this actually applies here. This is good. My mom did spend as much time as she could with friends and loved ones. However, this is a good little story because she was sending out emails like, hey guys, I have terminal cancer to, various people. And I guess she put together an email list and sent it out to a bunch of people like, hey, if you want to get in touch with me, I don't know how much time I have left and stuff like that. Well, she accidentally sent it, included the name of one of her old interns that she fired in that list. And when that person came and tried to make contact, my mom basically told her to fuck off. I was not trying to send that email to you. Which was just like, holy shit, mom. That was fucking cold.
I love it.
So I can see it. I can see both sides of that.
Yeah, it's just maybe it's me. Maybe
All right, I'm back.
Maybe it is the way that I see things, but I don't care how much I hate someone. I would never put my hate for that person above my own gratification in any other way, shape, or form. Like, I've never come across someone that I would be so emotionally and mentally invested in a negative way that I would put anything positive below it in priority. Then again, I am married, and there are times I just look at my wife and go, why am I here? I mean, we've all had those moments, right?
Oh. My wife and I have an inside joke where one of us will just say to the other, Naugahyde. Because, God, it came from the movie The Mexican, but it was a thing years ago where we were just saying, like, dude, there's going to be one time where I'm driving the car and you just say one thing, and it's going to be something like Naugahyde. And I'm going to just drive us off the fucking cliff. And so now every once in a while, one of us will just look at the other and just be like, fucking Naugahyde. Kill me now. Fuck you both.
But at the same time, I do see that as a part of a a actual good and healthy relationship, because
Yeah.
you're not going to like someone
No, fuck no.
100% of the time. You're not. It's just not going to happen. But it's those moments that you don't like them that really epitomize the relationship, because it's that I don't like you right now, but to what extent is it?
Yeah. Well, what? I'm trying to remember the entire quote, but like, love is the condition where you really think about murdering someone every day, but you don't because you'd miss them.
That is actually a very good description of it.
Have you guys ever watched True Facts?
No.
No.
Oh, it's a YouTube series anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes long, and it's like voiceover of weird things about animals, but half of it's made up. And just
I think I know this one.
They do stuff with dogs, and there's ones with pretty much every animal. They're fucking hilarious. There was a Christmas one a couple years ago that was all couples of dogs and cats, and he was voicing over as if they were a couple. And the first one is a huge dog cuddling up with a tiny little cat. And you know what we really love about Christmas? It's all of the decorations and lights. They bring out everything, even the tinsel, and the cat moves at that point. Oh, don't worry, honey. I'm going to tell the story. It's not that embarrassing. Well, Amanda here, she just can't stay out of the tinsel. So one night she decides to eat some, and what do you know? 24 hours later, she's got some tinsel hanging out her backside. She looked like one of those party poppers. No, Amanda, I'm not going to pull it out for you. You got into this on your own. But you know what? I did. Because that's what love is.
Oh, that series. Okay.
I think I've seen the cuttlefish one.
I've seen the
Oh, yeah.
I've seen the cuddle. I've seen a lot of the individual species one, not that one.
Yep. Yeah, that one. I just watched that one like 2 nights ago. It's hilarious.
Oh, we've gotten wonderfully off topic. What else is new?
I don't know. This is all going to eventually just flow into Veterans Talk Weekly, and it's going to be off topic anyways.
Oh, running gags left and right, especially on that one. Although there are some, we're gonna have some fun tonight on that one, because you know what? It's a good time. Dinner's done. Dinner's ready. I'm fucking starving. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up so I can actually eat off air. But as a precursor before VTW, for those who are going to be hanging around as we are back on air in about an hour, the nominations for Dumbfuck of the Year recently happened.
Ah, yes.
We're going to be going over... We're going to try our best to actually rank and actually, like, bookie style, try to hedge our bets on who we think is deserving to win, but
Are we
who
gonna
we think
throw
is
odds?
actually going to win.
Let's put down odds.
Yeah, and see, that's why I think we need to talk it through. I think we need to go through and have some fun with some sort of ranking, because I am not submitting any of my votes until 3 weeks from now.
Oh, you're going to give us a mail-in.
I'm giving everyone an opportunity to let their voice be heard on where my votes should go to, and also I need to figure out just how many of them there are actually going to be.
Oh, you're gonna let one person look like they're winning, and then pull a Joe Biden and all,
And
the
then
mail-in
sandbag
votes
it at the
Jared
end.
are
Yep.
gonna come in. Oh shit, that's good. Oh, I'm gonna see if I can get my my uncle, if I can get in touch with him. He I know at one point he was a bookie that was less than legal. I don't know if he still is. I don't know what's going on with him. He's kind of tough to get a hold of. I do know that one time I went over there and he was giving out all of the nieces and nephews new shoes because one of his guys paid him in shoes. And so if anyone knows how to throw odds on this situation, it's probably him.
Nice.
We'll see if I can get a hold of him.
By the way, isn't the sandbagging thing kind of the new tradition of the Fody?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
And if you notice, it started when I came around.
By the way, Goddaughter, how's the Advent calendar going?
It's good. Day 5 is sitting in the fridge right now, and I'll probably bust it out on VTW. So, you're in Washington. You can probably find them at your nearby Costco.
Yeah,
The same one I got.
I'd have to get out of the house and go to Costco.
I get it. I completely understand. I go to Costco like once every 2-3 months and then go spend like $1,500 and then don't go back for a while.
Yeah,
don't even go to the store for a while. I get like I go on supply runs.
Yeah, that's not shopping. That is a supply run. That's entirely what that is. But with that, we are pretty well assured that yeah, Judge Dredd is sci-fi. So with that, we do have
definitively so.
It is decided.
Yeah. So with that, we have some wonderful more conversations coming up, and while yes, we are going to be talking and ranking the Dumb Fuck of the Year nominees, we're also on VTW going to be continuing our Holiday Help series, which, yeah, it's just reminding everyone what we're actually doing, what our actual aim is, and where we'll actually be in the coming weeks and months and years. But for those who didn't know already, I'll go ahead and give you a little sneak peek of the next couple Kanar with Damar topics that we have going on. And that is find my fucking notes again. God damn it. Where was it? Ah, yes. Next week, you have a bit of homework there, Furball. There was a video released a couple weeks ago depicting Gul Dukat as a villain too stupid to win. Yeah, we're going to be going over that video. And the points actually made by the guy.
All right, I've got some hotel time between now and then. I'll need the link to that video.
I believe it's already in our group chat. If not, I will repost it again there. But yeah, okay. Yeah, we're diving into a very enigmatic character of DS9, meaning he was all over the fucking place. And then following that, the week after, it's going to be similar to this today. It is going to be the question of, is it sci-fi or not? And we're just going to have to see if the God Emperor approves. Because, yes, we are going deep into the Imperium of Man. We are going to delve through the Codex Astartes, as well as all the other rich lore and divinations of the Imperium, and find out, is Warhammer 40k science fiction?
I'll have to tap out on that one. No clue.
It's science fantasy.
Well, we're going to get into that. You might just be surprised. But even someone who is unaware and uninitiated is still welcome there, because guess what? When a topic comes up, if something makes you scratch your head and wonder, wait, what the fuck? Yeah, those are the types of questions we're going to want people to ask. So, that will be in 2 weeks' time. Until then, everyone, be safe, enjoy, have fun, go take your break. We will be back on air in just over an hour.
Later.
Enjoy.